Happy One Wheel Wednesday, everybody. My name is Scot Mendenhall. Man, we're excited to be hanging with you today. We talk about One Wheels on this YouTube channel. We are always joined with my friends. It's been a while since all my friends been in one place, one location for a long, long time, but we got it done today. My wife of 23 years is finally back. How you doing, Hal?
I'm back. I'm doing great. How are you?
If you could pull that mic up to your mouth, that'd be great. Everybody
Can you hear
enjoy
me?
that for you. I'm sure they heard you. You just sound better.
Hello.
Yeah, you're back.
Good to be back.
Been
23
busy.
years.
23 years.
Been busy.
That's right. Inside that 23 years, we met a fine young lady at the age of 15 years old, and she's never left our side. We got Lily Arnold right here.
I put my thumb in. It's me.
Yeah, it's me.
Hi, everyone.
You said hi, everyone.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy One Wheel Wednesday. It's been a hot second since we've been together, but we're back. We got some really fun topics today. What's wrong with One Wheel / community? And while we've been gone doing our own thing, there's been a lot of chatter about the community and the health of it. And then One Wheel dropped a video. Now this could be old dated or new dated, and I'm inquisitive. You gotta look at this footage. This is of Laser riding in the offices on a Pint X, I think. They posted this on their shorts. He's just zipping around. When I was there a year ago, now this could be a late post, but I'm not a very good detective. There were all desks there. There were the call centers back there in the glass, and now not. Bodie dropped over against the wall here earlier in Pine X, right about in that set. No, not that location. He's riding towards it right now. And then you can see on one of the back walls, destroy boredom. Just wonder what's going on at the One Wheel headquarters.
You're really dissecting this.
Yeah, well, I got to do these investigation
Or maybe
things.
they just wanted like an indoor track to like ride on.
That's so fun.
It could be.
I want that.
Wonder
I
what
mean-
maybe they're going to recarpet it.
I mean, like you made something to ride, so why
Yeah,
not
that's
ride
sweet,
in
right?
the
If
office?
you've never rode your One Wheel on carpet, you are missing out for sure.
I mean, we made you a trail that you could hop right out of
Me?
your office door.
Us. Yeah, so I do have a trail
To
that
go.
comes right out of the office that goes straight to trails. This is a true statement. But I'm just a fan of One Wheel. Been there. And one, that's a sweet video. If you've never had a chance to ride on carpet, you should totally ride on carpet. It's so much fun. Secondly, I wonder what's going on.
Yeah.
Does anyone know? What's your thoughts?
I have a thought.
I didn't even know.
It's not necessarily pertaining to that,
Oh.
but you nailed your glasses and your shirt today.
Yeah.
Well done.
Well, just wanted you to know I can put some things together. I got to say, I love race jerseys.
Yes. Yeah.
On hot days, just
They're still a little bit cool.
yeah, just the feel of the material to my skin just gives me good vibes.
Okay. Thanks for the details.
And then the look of it, there are just jerseys I like the creativity in all of them that just show what each designer's coming up with. And so I like this one. Thank you, One Wheel, for the
nice.
jersey. It's sweet. And I do like that one arm has got the color to it and the other one doesn't. It's sweet.
It's very cool.
You want one. I like
Yeah.
that it says One Wheel on one arm. My problem is I keep looking up there, and because I look at a conference
It's the
monitor.
opposite.
It's opposite. So I look down here. It's not here. It's a little.
Oh.
Never had that issue before.
Someone in the chat says my friend was there that day and they moved up a floor or something.
Oh, see? Look at that. We're just asking
Information.
questions. So the next question you got to ask, why? Why did they do that? What are they up to? What are they going to design down there? What are they going to put in there? I'm stoked on it. I just am. I like to see progression. I like to see things happening. So there we go. We might have an answer there that I knew you guys would have. That it was as simple as going up a floor. They're leveling up. Well done, One Wheel.
There you go.
Leveling up. We're going to get to a little bit of the community talk that's happened over it started before dirt servers and stuff. We don't going to weigh much on it, but a lot of people have asked our thoughts. What about events and all these things? Here's the deal. Like, all I got to say on that is Holly and I, we have 8 children, and we take all 8 kids to these events.
True.
Hey, we're parenting our children. No one else is. Like, we can tell them, avoid that spot, do this. And just One Wheel events are awesome. They're a lot of fun. But concerts are a lot of fun. And going to the park is a lot of fun. Going to zoos are a lot of fun. And sometimes there's some things in those places that you might, as a human, go, I don't care for that. But that doesn't mean you have to, It just means hey, teach my kids some of those standards. However, I do think if we want to be more professional, there could be maybe some things that change. But I'm not going to get into that. But people have asked our opinion on it. We will invite some people on over the next few weeks to have this conversation. It's going to be a lot of fun to hopefully help the sport, see both sides and stuff. But I do think there's some truth in everything. There's how we landed. There's some truth in everything. And we all, at the end of the day, if we can all be teachable, whatever side of the spot we land on any topic, and loving.
You mean like see the other person's side when you say
see
teachable?
It from the other person. Yeah. Just see it from the other person's side. Don't have to win. A lot of times when we collaborate, it's not about winning. It's about getting to the best idea for the collective. And
That's
so
good.
that's a lot of times what it takes place is that it's got to be, opinions need to be shared.
Do they?
Yeah, you share opinions, but it doesn't mean I need to be worked up by your opinion.
Well,
Really
yeah,
think
but
of
I
it-
mean, like, yeah, I'm gonna say like, I'm saying that as like the average. Like, does my opinion about everything need to be shared
To the right
No.
audience.
Yeah,
For
okay,
sure.
I'll give you that.
And I think if you're going to start some kind of movements at times, you got to express some of the things you're feeling. And I think it's okay. I
Well,
think
don't
what
you think
happens
it
when someone
often-
shares their opinion, it's met with the opposite and it's combative versus loving.
Well, possibly,
Right?
yeah. But I think it's sometimes if there's something that I personally have been challenged on, or something that I feel like needs to be a change, it usually starts with me. But I think sometimes we often think I need everybody else to do the same thing I'm challenged on, and they all need to change too. You know, if that's like, oh, hey, I'm gonna not drink soda. Well, everyone around me you shouldn't drink soda either because it's bad. Well, yeah, but that's up to them. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Well,
what
you
I'm saying?
shouldn't. No, I'm just kidding.
But I do think there are some things, if you're building something, if you want it to continue to progress and move forward, there are some inevitable changes to open up. I'm going to use an illustration of a funnel to get more people involved. If we keep it niche, we keep it for a select few, it won't be able to have the foundation to sustain a growth. And so I look at a lot of sports, especially in the extreme sport world, skateboarding for sure, surfing, BMX biking, mountain biking, dirt biking. They all start for a niche individual. And if they want to get into where it's a bit more mainstream, and there are some of those things you got to shave off for the mass. You got to open up the funnel. And I think that's where we're at right now as a community, trying to figure out, well, what's this going to look like? What's that funnel? And today, it's not necessarily about us sharing our opinion, because just another chef in the kitchen tends to make the kitchen complicated and slows down the stuff. We've been to a lot of events. They're a lot of fun. For the most part, very safe. But like I said, I think anybody can pull from anywhere. I'm uncomfortable in that situation. And again, there's lines and all these things, and I have nothing in mind of any event or situation because I've not seen anything that. But I do think as sports are going to continue, as Onewheel community is going to grow and get bigger, I just think, yeah, there will always ultimately be changes. I think every year the community gets better. I think you go and look at this past dirt surfer, and I think this is a testament to Nick and Rachel Payne. The only way dirt surfers this year was to be able to continue to move was that they have taught those around them how to run the race and what's acceptable and how to do it. That's the only, it's not skill and ability of these tables. Like the three of us jumped in pretty heavy along with our team from up here in Minnesota. But it was because Nick and Rachel have built something special at dirt surfers and really have taught those around them. We had another great individual, Justin, helping us. Dude got around the mountaintop to help a ton. Dustin helped. And it was a conglomerate. Is that the right word, Lil?
Conglomerate.
Thank you. Of people coming together with, like, man, let's carry this on. And you look at the progression of dirt surfers from year 1, 2, 3, it just is getting better.
Yeah, but if you even go deeper than that, like when they planned that, when Nick and Rachel, no dirt surfers has ever been the same. Like even when they get down to the nitty gritty of what trails are going to be used and how are the features going to be, whatever. So they even express wanting to have it changed every year. and making it a better event every year. So it's never the same.
Yeah, I think even for, like, again, using dirt surfers, look at this year, they began a beginners
Race.
where allowed beginners to come in, built for beginners.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was fun to watch. It was 10 or 11, 13, was it? It was at least more than 10.
You
Beginners.
were one of them.
I was one of them.
Hollywood
I
Road.
did my racing, guys.
She got it done. Let's just applaud that really quick. Well done.
I did it.
You did it. And you did well.
It was fun.
You finished it, but I think those things show the progression of the sport, trying to figure it out. I think even Nick said it as he made his big comeback on Sunday at Dirt Surfers. He even talked about, we're trying to take all this information on how to run the races. Is it Vesk versus one wheels versus whatever the next thing, float wheel, right? Do we just have them all in categories, or do we need to divide it? Is it fair, unfair? Well, that information's coming to them to make those decisions. I think what's happened a lot and what creates a bit of the feuding and drama is we want change right now. It has to be done today. And it's like, hold on, let's get enough information of where do we want to take this? Where's the sport going to go? And start to take those things in as a collective whole and listening to everybody. And I think you always want to respond in love. We say it around here, what does love require? If you answer that truthfully, usually you're going to know the right thing to do. If you can't answer what would love require, really fast, then you know whatever you're about to say is the opposite of what you should do. And so in the conversation, I think it's great for everybody to share their thoughts. But I think when the decisions are made, it's like, okay, let's go. It's like going back to dirt surfers, Nick choosing to do a beginner race. Wonderful. If you didn't like that idea, fine. But he decided, let's roll. No one was pushing back on that. I'm trying to use a very small non-topic, because there's a lot of topics we could open up those things, and we just don't need to do that. That's not our intentions today. I think when we title it What's Happening to Onewheel, the company, and then the community, and the community, I think, one, it was asking where'd their offices go. Thought that was just funny to lead in. And then the community, what's happening? There's a lot happening, and I think we're at the cusp of seeing this sport break wide open to become something that heaps of people want to come spectate and be a part of, just like we watched the X Games and we watched skateboarding and surfing and all these other things that started essentially out of somebody's garage and then got mainstream. And there's just some shaving of rough edges that will happen, and that's not to hurt anybody or offend anyone. All right, ladies, we don't really, in the last couple of weeks, we haven't taken time for the chat.
The chat.
Yeah, is the chat got anything saying today that are they jumping in? What are they chiming in? What are their thoughts?
One comment is in dealing with the races and things is when you have an enduro style race, it tends to be more focused on the racers and the actual racing event, whereas festivals are maybe a little bit more of the party. And I think, maybe the performances at a festival or anything like that. But as a parent, I think we take all of that into consideration of okay, what races are going to fit best with our family and how we want to do things. And so they just made the comment, enduro races tend to be racer focused. Festival races tend to be
we got to be careful on any of those. It's just separations of things, because even with festivals still coming up, and they're some of the best.
They are super fun.
To not feel like there's some knock on that. I don't think they're...
I haven't been to one, though, so I don't know what it's like.
I don't know that...
I don't think they're... I want to make sure we're clearly stating there's no knock.
I don't think it's a knock on it. No, I don't think that was the intention on this comment either. Just pointing out some of the differences of it.
Yeah. There's some differences, but some people want to come for the music and the vibes of that, and that's great. That's great. I still think you look at X Games, and X Games still do, for years, maybe not this year they didn't do it as much, but years past they've always done the hybrids, and where they have musicians playing, and then they have the sport side happening. And I think there's a place for that. I think there's a place, and like I said, it's just figuring out those things. Here's what I understand in any event. The creators of the event create it, put the date on the calendar, and figure out how much it's going to cost to do. We as the community then make it what it is, whatever the vibe is, right? It's us choosing. And I think that's where, as the community, we come and go, where do we want this? We tend to not think for the future. Where do we want to hand this off to the grounds? What are we trying to give them? Is this just something great for us in our generation, or could we build something that there's somebody doing a podcast 25 years from now talking about, oh, Onewheel had some rough edges, they shaved off, and now look where they are, like I am using X Games today.
Do you think that the people that are actively involved really care about that?
Like you say, word that differently for me. What do you mean, the creators of
No,
these
not the
events? Or
creators.
like
no,
One
just like
Wheel?
people who are doing it now.
Oh, thinking about the future. No, I don't think most of us think that.
I wouldn't say the majority, but I think
No.
there are strategic people out there thinking of the future of the sport.
I think those that are progressing the community and looking towards involvement of their festivals and races are thinking that way. Now, obviously, I've just put some words in their mouth potentially, but I think that's what you see in there, because each one of those events seem to get better. Now, here's some of these events that we've not made it out to is only because we can't get that far that fast with 10 boards and things. It's not preferences or any of those things. It's like, man, does it fit with
they're
our
all
calendar?
on the list. That's
But
for
when
sure.
you watch all the highlight stuff, it's like, that's so good. Look at the highlight reel for that. That looked amazing, so much fun. And so I think the creators of these things are thinking long term and how do we get these to the next level. And I think we as the community can help that and go, are we helping them or not? And in whatever we're transpiring, and notice I've not actually said anything good or bad transpiring, because I think all the above. You know, if we came and had a no talking zone because we brought 9 little babies and we were having cribs set up, right? That would change the environment and be weird.
That'd be really weird.
Oh man.
That you're trying, hey, when you come through here, be quiet, right? Like there's both sides of this. It's just coming together, shaving off some edges, and I think you get something at the end of the day that everybody's like, yeah, this is sweet. Because I think that's the heart of the creators of the sport and the community, is having something great that outlasts them, the creators, and hand it off. And so I'm excited about where it's all going. I'm excited about even the conversations that are coming up behind closed doors, talking about what's next year look like. Even Race for the Rail this year, just knowing that there's some changes coming. I don't know what those changes are, but exciting. I like change. Good or bad, I like change because I think it always creates momentum and excitement in it. And so that's even why we bring it up, because we know it's a big topic and a lot of people are going to weigh in on it. You're going to find that I'm sitting somewhere in the middle going, well, what makes sense? I think anytime we take a pendulum and we swing it all the way to one direction, that's probably not right.
Or anytime that you say it has to look like this, meaning like even enduro races or festivals, they need to look like this. Then it's like, well, that's not always. You don't give room for it to change.
I think creators of these festivals and races, they should have creative liberty. I think when it comes to sanctioned and premier races, I think that's a one-wheel conversation of like, how are we picking those? Is it by terrain? Is it premier because, and that's the best of, right? Is that because the terrain deems that, hey, this is going to really test your ability? Is it quality of event, meaning, you're going to get here and this has got our stamp of approval? I think those are the things that we can develop in the next year, is the differences between sanctioned, the regional. Is it only 2, right, this year, I think?
Yeah.
Or premier.
Premier
in sanctional or premier in, I can't remember now.
I was looking at the rankings.
But if we get those details of what makes what, I think all of a sudden as a sport, we kind of understand.
Premier and regional.
Premier and regional. What
They're
makes a
both
premier
sanctioned.
premier? Because when we were in Austin, Texas, those trails, they were some of the more difficult, chunkier.
That was a regional race, though.
And it was regional. But
Yeah.
why? Is it because it was the first season? What made that regional?
Yeah, like Let It
versus-
Ride was a regional, but it was the third year. So
Right,
it's
and
like
so what makes those,
different
what
than
are the
Lemonade.
qualifications? If Scott Mendenhall and friends were to do a race, could we do premier right away? And how could we do that? I think if we get those questions answered, I think all of a sudden it starts to determine, okay, I got it.
Well, do you think that opens up the possibility for more people around the country to, if there were stipulations for a regional, a sanctional, whatever, to put more races on, that would be part of the circuit?
I think it would be easier as a creator of an event to know how to get my event as a premiere
On the calendar or something.
because more people are apt to come to that because more points available, more pros might show up to that because of the quality of the event, if that's what it meant. Because right
'Cause
now,
you get
all
the
I know is
stamp
it's
of it.
points, and you immediately go to race for the rail. That's all I know. And it's not reserved for enduros or reserved for festivals. It's
Right.
So who would you ask why it is the way
well,
it is?
I guess I would ask the racing committee. There's a group of people that gather around to dream up what the races should look like, and the question would be what makes those the premieres and what makes them regional. And is it something you earn, or can you come into it? Because think about it, it's not about just the creator or owner of the race, because Dirt Surfers in Texas was not a premier race. And so it's not just about those things. And so we love having these conversations because your ground level of promoting
For
change,
well, for
where it could be
sure.
headed.
But can you be a first year event holder and be
Be
a
premier.
premier? I don't know.
But that's where it's like if you had a standard you have to hit. These are the 10 qualifications, 5 qualifications to be premier. Fine.
Well,
I think then you nail it and then you're in. It doesn't matter year 1 or 2 or 3, unless Onewheel goes, well, actually, we need to make sure that this is of a quality of racing we want. It needs to be this kind of technical. It needs to be viewable by the audience, like these things. Like, right, I don't. Maybe those conversations are having in the closed doors, but maybe you need to have one. Your main event needs to be a race that everybody can watch. Spectators need to be able to see it, because I think some of the things it's could potentially thrust one-wheeling into more of a mainstream main light is the viewability. Dirt Surfers in Eureka Springs. Premiere for sure, like just the quality of it, and the trails are spectacular, but the viewership of any of the races there's none. You're left to watching chest cams and things of that nature
After the fact.
right.
Yeah.
But if there was a way to watch them, now all of a sudden you got ways for viewers to come in and go, I want to watch, just like out in Utah when Red Bull does Rampage.
Right.
They're stacked all up on these dirt cliffs and stuff watching Rampage, but also the helicopters are filming the thing, or drones, because that's the way you can capture it, and they live stream it to YouTube. I think that helps. But again, it's on the shoulders of the creators of the event. They're so stressed out and worked so hard to do their event. They got no time for that business. And they're not making money on these things. There's a genuine love out of the sport. I think that needs to be noted as well in this conversation. The creators of these one-wheel events that brings the community together is out of sheer love for one-wheeling in the community. They are not making massive profits. I hope they're making profits. I hope they're, but we're not hearing about these guys and women flying into events because they've made so much money off of their event. And so it's like, the best way we can serve these making the events is to come in, sign up early so they know who's coming. We need to talk about their event in a way that is exciting and loving, and be excited about when they're going to announce the next festival or event. That's why we talk about the ones. One of the ones that's on our list that it's just, and it's coming up here shortly. It's Seek and Shred.
Someday.
Sunday. You said
Someday.
Sunday.
I wish
Is
it was
it
Sunday.
this
It's-
weekend
no,
or next
next
weekend?
weekend.
Next weekend, right?
Okay.
We got the a quick
have it
flyer
pulled up.
for you that you guys can, if you're not registered for this, get it done.
Shred
Best
13.
4, June
Oh, man.
13th through 17th.
We always hear so much good about that place, like the racing and just the overall vibes. You're in California. There's so many great locations to go ride around those events. So much fun to be able to get to. From what we hear, we haven't, and we want to. And it's just, and I think we got that image for you finally. We can throw up for those that are watching. We are excited about it.
There it is.
I pulled it a long time ago, but there you go, June 13th through the 17th.
I can't wait to see all the highlights.
The highlights are amazing.
That'll be
Like,
fun.
that's their night vibes. They have a lot of musicians come out and play. I think Jack and Laser played last year. That was fun to see. And so there are things we want to get to and see because they're just the what the community talks about. And it's like, how do you make that work? And we can't wait to hear the highlights and who wins that. I believe that's a premier race as well. And so that's going to be a fun one to watch because somebody's going to stamp their ticket straight to Onewheel main event, the ORL race weekend. So we can't get enough of this stuff. as a family and as a YouTube channel, we like following it. We kind of geek out on some stuff, become detectives trying to figure things out. I think us as a community we got to be okay with some changes, and we got to be okay with all of the things we want to bring into it not being in it. Because some of that's got to be to the creators of the events. They got to be able to be creative and do the events how they see it, because I think that makes it fun and brings in unique crowds. I just think there's a place for a lot of things. And I think the biggest thing in it is, man, what would love require you to do to respond to somebody? I haven't met very many people in the Onewheel community. No one is coming to my mind that is just downright mean. And so just keep that love going where we love each other and want the best for the sport. Man, it was so cool to be at Dirt Surfers and meet so many new families and new friends, now friends that just come in and you're like, oh, I'm new to this sport. This is so much fun. We came because we heard your friends talking about this on the podcast. And it's like, great. Enjoy the weekend. It's going to be a great weekend. And it really, truly was a great weekend. Just like those are going to show up in California at Shredfest. You're going to have a great weekend. You're going to ride some trails. You're going to get a lot of practice in. You're going to watch a lot of cool. The Float Life is doing their street. It's not a street course. It's downhill course. I don't remember.
At the Float Life Fest?
Yeah, that's going to be so cool. That's going to be so cool to watch and see the highlights from it.
That's at where? The Float Life?
No, Float Life. They did last
At Shredfest.
Seek and Shred 4.
Yeah, Shredfest
Yeah, that's all the same.
Okay, there you go.
That
Sometimes
is confusing, though, to have two titles.
Yeah, Seek
wonder
and
why
Shred
it's done
and
that.
Shredfest
Yeah, I wonder.
are the same. Took me a long time to figure that out.
But, like...
But then there's Float Life Fest, so I was like, oh.
Yeah.
That's right. And I get confused, too. That's why I just...
I'm sure someone will
It's confusing
tell
times we
us
live
why.
in, guys. It's confusing times.
Maybe Seek and Shred is the race. Shredfest is
The
the
festival.
the overarching.
That could be it.
Maybe so.
Although Shredfest is on the racing.
It's Shredfest on the
Right.
Racing League. Yeah.
And
the
it's-
racing
and it's a
league,
premiere?
Shredfest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So somebody's going to stamp their ticket straight to the race. And then you'll have 2 confirmed racers for men and women in. The
Yeah.
rest, it can be shuffled up by the point spread. You were looking at the points. Has Dirt Surfer's been added into the points?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we asked a question last week. Who is in the rankings of the points? Liz is going to read us the top 5. Maybe the top 10. If Race for the Rail was to be the line drawn today, this is who would be in Race for the Rail, because I believe they're taking the top 10. Who are we starting with, Lil?
All right. And number 1, Jeff Adair.
Okay, Jeff's number 1. He's in.
Yeah.
Okay, number 2, Tyler Erickson. Done really well at Lemonade and Dirt Surfers. Luke Austin in number 3. Austin Silva, number 4. Number 5, Jafari Sisley. Number 6, Josh Ledford. Number 7, Jonathan Ortiz. Number 8, Brandon LaCour. Number 9, Hayden Bowling. And number 10, Colton Pratt. People that we don't have that are not in the top 10. Dave Stewart in at 11. Connor Chappell, Adonijah Sisley. Another big name is Kyle Hansen. Tyler James. Neil Bennett.
Are they in the top 15 or are they way?
Top 15 is actually Kyle Hansen and above that I said. Tyler James is in 17th. Neil Bennett, 22nd. Now, mind you, Neil has, let's see, one race.
One race. He got injured at Dirt Surfers.
But got some points. Nope, 2 races. Neil Bennett, 2 races. He raced at, 3 races. No, 2 races. Let It Ride and Oak City.
Okay. Yes, and then the top 10 you just listed off. I mean, I don't know what they're currently riding, but that's all full hooked people except for Austin. That's the interesting bit.
And it's out of 84 pro men.
That's
crazy.
that's
Yeah.
an interesting top 10.
It's a lot of men.
That would be very interesting to watch. Now, one of those places, and it's in, again, this was based on points because Luke Austin is in because he won Dirt Surfers regardless of points.
Right.
So that said,
Well,
he's still in the top 10.
So do they then take the top?
Yes, I believe. Don't quote me on this.
If you punch your ticket,
There's only 10 they're taking. You just didn't have to worry about points. So
10 men, 10 women.
Yeah, so let's say Kyle Hansen goes out there to Seek and Shred and he wins the thing. Regardless of his points, he has to win. Dave Stewart has to win outside of getting some points.
yeah.
Okay? What the point system creates is getting the pros to get to more events. Because pros showing up to the events
right.
helps more people show up.
Of course. You want to be there if they're going to be there.
Yeah.
So if they place in the top, I guess they take pro men 20, pro men.
No. Are they taking, they're taking
it's-
top 20 or top 10? I thought they pared that down this year.
Points will be awarded to the top 50 men and top 20 women at each sanctioned
Yes.
race.
Right.
Other ranking information.
But that's not to make you into ORL.
Okay.
Or the race. Okay, I believe somebody in the chat will help us sort it out, I'm sure. Really quick, before
Yeah,
we get
that's
to reading out the women, we want to say thanks to a couple of people that are part of our sponsors around here that help us have good sets. It helps us get to races and things. One is Dirt Surfers. They're a huge part of this YouTube channel. And what we do is Scot Mendenhall and Friends. They help us make sure we're on boards and things of that nature. So thank you to them for being a part of what we do with Scot Mendenhall and Friends. We also are... Kevin, who is from behind Chameleon Rails, made this sweet sign
guy.
and has given a lot of swag for us to give away. Thank you to him for allowing us to be able to rock your stuff on our desks. And then we also use tire sealant in all of our tires. It used to be where we didn't, and then we said armadillo isn't for, and then we got corrected. And ever since, they have sent us armadillo, and that's all we put in our tires.
And you always tell the story to make sure that
Yeah,
everybody
because
knows that
I
we
was an
missed
idiet.
it, but then we fixed it.
I was an idiot. And here's the truth. Here's the deal. It works. Let me grab some. I didn't put it on the desk, and so Holly, talk about something cool. Go.
I got a one wheel.
Yeah, she did. Tell us about it.
I did get a one wheel. I was actually going to bring it out here, but
That would have been funny.
it is not functioning at the moment because
It's disassembled.
it's disassembled.
Why?
Well, we'll talk about that in a second, but that's a good question. So, shout out to Chameleon Rails again. We picked this
I
up
wondered
down
where that
at
was.
Dirt Surfers in Texas, or also Lemonade Float Fest, great festival. He gave us this. Actually, somebody else gave it to us. I don't know how we ended up with it. They won it. But it holds all. We're down to one tube of armadillo. They just did a sweet post. They have different colors of armadillos and things of that nature. But good stuff. Icon, my daughter, she got a sidewall cut. I should have filmed it. Horrible on my part. Sidewall cut on her stock. Well, it's now stock for GTs, but it's the GT performance tire. And you could see air leaking. And you could also see this bubbling out, and eventually it just stopped.
Oh, no.
No more of this leaking out, no more air. It sealed it up for a long, long time. Sidewall slashes are so difficult to, I mean, they're usually irreparable, but with our experience, literally, this feels like a commercial. It's not. Our experience is this worked, so it's now been tested. It's worth yourself picking it up. So thank you for all of those. And then Onewheel, thanks for making sweet clothes. I like their shirts, their hats. They're celebrating 10 years. Did you know that? 10 years.
It is
Wow.
10 years.
Have you missed this video? They dropped this. If you haven't seen the creation of Onewheel over the 10 years where it started in a garage, they've made it into a short and full-length thing. Here's just a little bit of a sample. No audio for you, but this is Jack talking about how we went from that, where it used to be ran by a chain
Yeah,
and a
that's
sprocket,
crazy.
and all of that to where we are, the GTS. Are you kidding me? That's wild.
Pretty cool.
That is crazy. And it used to have a little button you stepped on instead of a foot pad. That was some serious engineering, stator going into a motor. So go check that out on onewheel.com as well. You guys will love watching that video. It's a lot of fun to watch, kind of look backwards and go, wow, that's where we've come. Now let's get to the top 10 women. If we were to just take the numbers right now, these are your top 10 that would go to the race for the rails in August, I believe, or September, one of those months.
All right. Mercedes is in first, Mercedes Silva. In second, Zane Carter. In third, Nikki Martin. Sarah Meeker are in fourth. Fifth place is Christy Miller. Sixth place is Ashley Nan. Seventh is Kay Love. Eighth is Rachel Payne, tied for eighth place. Well, interesting. This
What?
is all out of order.
Why?
Sixth, seventh, there's 8. Rachel Payne, 8. Rachel Cecil goes to 11. Emily French goes to 10th. Heather Grail, and that's it.
I see the
Which
problem.
is, yeah.
Oh, because 10 and 11 are tied, and so are 8 and they. Yeah.
Right. So what you would end up doing is you're holding the place of 8.
That makes sense.
But you're still you're only gonna take 10. It might be for women. You only take 8. There's a discrepancy between men and women. 2 less, I believe. I just can't remember now. Someone will help us figure it out. But that's pretty wild who'd get there.
Yeah.
But we have 2 more big races happening, I believe, for points. We have one out in North Carolina still, and then we have Seek and Shred. So it ain't over, folks. The fat lady ain't saying. So that is true. We're excited to keep watching. We'll be here for it to spread the stoke and the excitement in all of those. Want to give a huge thanks to Onewheel Spartan 2019 for $20 for Holly
Thanks,
in her
Garrett.
GT S Fund.
Thank you so much. Very kind of you.
Okay, now
That's
tell us the
awesome.
story. She raced beginners, and you have a GT, which from the generosity of so many great people, you got us started to get it, and then with Dirt Surfers helping as well, came together and allowed us to be able to get that. Now, did you race on a GT?
I did. I got my GT. We left on Mother's Day a week before Dirt Surfers, and it was sitting there waiting for me when I got to Dirt Surfers. So it was a GT. I'd gotten some new pretty purple rails. Scott had given me a fender. It was great. I did race on the GT, and then I also raced on a GTS.
What? So you drastically saw the difference.
I did see the difference very much so. I actually was more comfortable on the GTS.
Shocker.
I had ridden yours a little bit, but this was the tire on that one, the foot pads on that one, man, it makes a big difference. And I don't know that I would have ever known that, because I didn't ride enough, but riding one trail on the GTS against the GT, the first trail I rode, GTS blows it out of the water.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
it
you also
does.
learned like some of those things with the GTS. You could climb things you weren't able to climb before.
Well, then you don't lose the stability. When you're going up a hill and you lose, you nosedive or you just even your wheel slips, you just lose every, your stance position, everything. So to not lose that with the GTS, I don't know, you just felt more comfortable. And then I did get a little cocky and I fell off a rock, but it was fine. I was fine. I didn't get hurt.
It happens.
So I did enjoy the GTS because they're just created a little bit more confidence in like, okay, I can actually do this.
Yes. And you did. She finished.
I did.
Which is a great job on her part. Now, she was alluding she did get a new GT. It has been torn apart. Last week we showed this video. Some of you helped us. This is a video, really quick, of Epic's GT motor sounding a little bit crazy. We'll let it rip a little bit for you to hear it a couple times. Listen to the sound of this. Hit it again. I don't know if I can hear it in my ears even. Oh, there it is. You hear that? Hit that again. I mean, that sounds like some kind of animal. It really does. And so it only progressively got worse. And so if you have any thoughts, this is where we're at this moment on that. Totally disassembled. We disassembled Holly's brand new board and took her motor and put it onto that. Straight motor to there. Got rid of the 5-inch just to eliminate. And it worked perfectly fine. No problems at all. And we go back and forth, no sound. So then what we did is we took the stator out of Holly's and put the stator in the 5-inch hub. No problem, no concerns at all. So we have concluded that the stator is no longer good.
Sad.
It's out of warranty. And knowing what Holly has experienced, we've come up with a valid solution.
I think it'll work.
We are going to put this bad boy, the S-Series motor, onto Holly's
Wow.
Onewheel. So,
Look out, Racing World. Here I come.
Watch out. She's
awesome.
gonna get. So it's not gonna be the BMS and controller of the GTS, but it's a bit of a Frankenstein. I don't know what we got to label it. Somebody's probably to
It
label
kind of
this.
fits me.
But now she's gonna have this on her board and ready to rock and roll.
And you also got me the new foot pads.
Yes.
I'm
Wow.
really excited about that. Those are game
These.
changer.
We've
Yes.
talked about these last week. I have now put them on, and they are.
You
guys,
love them as well.
The Lowboy foot pad kit flares. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
I'm not a foot hook guy. So when I say what I'm about to say, understand this. It gives you more control of your board because you have an extra ½ inch or so. I'm not fully measured it outside your actual foot pad or the rails. So when you want to lean into it, you're just there. It's for a guy that wears a 9.5 foot shoe. Say that right? 9.5. 9.5 size shoe, my whole foot's on there. No longer are my toes trying to do this, like grabbing, like the toe ache is gone. Rachel Payne got me onto this. She's like, hey, yeah, when my ankle or when my knee joints hurt, let me start. Rachel Payne got me hooked on this. When the foot joints were hurting, she's like, oh, it was just the foot pad I was riding. I changed it out and it went away. I changed it out. It's gone away. And these flares are here to stay. And Holly's loved them so much that she wants them on her board, so she's getting them.
Makeover. Are you still going to have purple rails?
Yeah,
Yes.
my purple rails are a little dinged up because Epic used my board while his board was down.
Well,
but
you would have dinged them up anyways.
they still, yeah. I purple's my favorite, so purple it is.
You would have
Look
dinged
good.
them up. You're
With
a
how
girl,
she says she's riding. She's
yeah,
crazy.
but she jumps off that board all the time. Her favorite part about riding at one point we have on video is jumping off.
Now I do a better stop and I can get off the right way. Now I'm
Now,
better
some
at it.
people gave me crap this week, and I just posted a short about these. Okay, they're like, "Oh, you mean the Halo wannabes?" Because there was a brand that was making some kind of flared foot pad for front and back. Because this is a set, everyone. This is a front and back. I like that. I'm here for the front and back. Cosmetically, it looks much better than just one. That's my opinion. That's it. It's just my opinion. However, Halo, I don't know who they are. There are a couple other brands that are out. When it came to my front foot pad, I just don't. I get a little nervous of, like, who are they making these sensors, and do I want to ride them and trust my life to them? I know there could be malfunctions on any of these things when I put them on. I understand all of those risks, but I just feel like when I have a brand that you trust, it just feels different than who's this making a sensor now. So I tend to stay away from those things. If you're fine with not, you're like, oh, I'm into that, go for it. I'm not knocking them. I'm sure they're great products. I'm just speaking for me. So I've just stayed away from all of those things. And so I like this. I chose the soft compound. So great. Now here in Minnesota, those are only good for 6 months of the year because after that they freeze and we have hard. So it doesn't really matter anyways. Probably not. And so the other nice thing about this is the sensor is so wide on this thing. Like, I was riding the other day and Wookie, for whatever reason, knocked my foot, like came running by and like either bit my foot and pulled my foot to one side of the sensor.
Silly
Wow.
pup.
So sketchy. But it never deactivated. It rode
on
well.
your board?
It stayed on my board. That's down to the talent of the rider, not the foot pad.
No humble brag.
Yeah. Just trying to be funny, giving ammo to all of those that want to come at me a little bit right there.
They always
So
do.
I'm a fan of the flare. And even in the soft. So there's other places you can go. We're going to transition into the float life, and they have some really cool back foot pads that if you want a higher kick on the back of your foot pad, if you want a wider stance for the back, if you want it to be lit up, they have so many cool options. They are really coming up with good customizations for your boards and stuff. They dropped this little gem, and somehow I missed it, ladies. I think it was in the week of just
Probably
life being
just
crazy
chaos.
around here, but they dropped a gem. They dropped something that I just want now. Like, I told this to Jeff when we were out at Dirt. They make stuff that all of a sudden I didn't know I want now.
And now you.
They dropped an MTE Black Edition. Look at this thing. They were silver, right? Now they're black.
Nice.
They've labeled the magnet
only
side
difference
on
is
the
the color?
outside. Oh, man. Black. I just think black looks
You've
so
always liked
good.
black.
Only difference is the color?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's awesome.
That'd be a lot to exchange, though, if you
I
already
wouldn't
have
exchange. But in this household, we have so many people that want a 5-inch that for days and weeks and months we could purchase one. We could purchase for 1 month a year out of 1 month every month out of the year. We could purchase one and get it done in a year.
Yeah. We probably won't, though.
No, we will not be doing that. But I'm just saying that's how many people want 5-inch hubs.
The Cush Glows are cool.
They're sweet.
Thanks.
I've seen what people do at night rides and stuff. I think those are great for riding downtown. We're in a parade in a couple weeks, and we'll be riding.
But it's in the daytime.
It'll
Still be cool.
Yeah,
Still
because it's
would
kind of
be, yeah.
nightish by the time we're
Yeah,
done with it.
I mean,
Why
it's-
can't I click it?
it would
doesn't
be
get real
those
dark.
would be sweet.
Ooh, I might have to ride my Onewheel this year. I've never had
Maybe.
one.
I clicked it.
So if you just stay tuned for that, they're great at getting it to the market, and then so many of you like their stuff that I can't get to it because they sell it so fast. So you better be subscribed to their email account so you don't miss out on the crap they're dropping, because they drop stuff all the time. They got people thinking while the
They
other
are
person's
so
thinking
creative.
to
Those
build
guys
stuff.
are so creative.
Another thing is, these are called rim savers. These are a new edition of rim savers. The profile's much
Oh, I
smaller.
guess I didn't notice that.
Yeah, they're
when,
thin.
Way thinner.
Yeah.
They are, full disclosure, difficult to put on, but they function as what they are meant to do, which is protect your rim. Legend is our dropper around here. He tends to drop off everything.
How many rims has he
And he's
broken?
broken 2 nice rims. These save rims. The big rims are a little bit wider and can tend to, at times, catch a few things here and then be pulled off. I don't think that's going to happen with these. These are a definite, if you're a dropper or you ride in the city and you drop off curbs or you just are brand new to sport, these are a way to go. Trick. They talk about installing these, put them in hot water. When they say hot water, we boiled the water and it worked way better. Hot tap water was not hot enough. Before that, it wasn't going anywhere. They are not stretchy, but rim savers are a must.
Do they stretch out when you boil them?
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah,
went
they
on.
help.
They're still difficult to get on. You had to have. Oh no, why am I?
The bike
Yeah,
wrench
what I
things.
use for bike
yeah.
tires.
Yeah. We had
Wow.
Monday was like our Onewheel Monday. Scott had a big table out on the patio, a tent up around it. It was like your own little shop that you had going on. And everybody's Onewheel came through. They had cleaned it. He was fixing tires. It was pretty funny. Legend was trying to put rims on, and it was pretty funny. Had our
Yeah.
own little shop.
It was our own shop for the entire day.
Can you open the shop up and put my board
put
back
your board
together
back together?
for me,
Yeah.
please?
I think I did 9 of the 10 boards. I disassembled in
Mm.
some capacity. It's pretty fun standing outside, getting that done. But if you don't have rim savers, we suggest you go get some rim savers. That was one of those things. It's just like when it was created years ago. It's like, that's genius. You can get for XR, pint, and the GT size. They don't have them at the moment of this video. They don't have them for 5-inch, but I don't really think you need them for 5-inch. People often ask, do you think that maybe
Oh,
they
because
will?
you have more
Well, you have
tire.
so much tire. If you're banging your rim off a drop with that tire,
You don't have enough PSI in it.
put some air in your tire. For heaven's sakes. What'd you do? On store your
I
Onewheel?
almost-
I mean, your
My
iPad?
iPad.
Irresponsible.
Boy.
Man. Okay, also, if you missed and you're a GT owner, you should update the firmware because of the just greatness that you get of the...
I did notice that.
Yeah, right there, massive update. There's what you get.
It did help. I was able to get up other things that I had not before.
Yeah, the gradient tracking is awesome. Like, that's what you want. Like, if you've been like, I'm not updating mine because I don't want haptic buzz, then welcome to the Sufferfest because you're missing out on this. This changes the GT. Even when Legend dropped off a pretty substantial rock yesterday, he talked about how much he loved a feature that is just working in the background where he dropped off, and as the nose is diving because he's coming off, or the tail is, it lifts him up to correct it a little bit so it doesn't just slap tail and he gets thrown off his board. So it's a hot update. We just are trying to push everybody. Get your board updated. You won't be disappointed with that GT update, firmware update. If you haven't done it, I'd love to hear some of your thoughts in the chats as well. Let's do a little check-in on the chat. How's the chat going today, ladies?
They're rocking.
They're here.
Yeah.
They're just talking about some of their preferences. Rims. Somebody suggested that it be a tire, like come with what tire you choose. Everybody wants these package deals.
Oh, for Onewheel. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just think...
Unfortunately, I think it's you just don't get all of that anymore.
I think more mistakes happen that way.
Yeah, that's a good
I
thought.
think because what happens is you can't continue to just crank out the product. You have to go stop the product line and go, hey, we have this one coming in. Follow
Because
this
it'd be
paper and make
like a
sure you got all
custom.
these things. And then they send it to you, you're like, oh, they missed my rim. And then it's just a whole mess. This
That would be
way,
a lot to keep up with.
yeah, I just, again, if I was in their spot, it just makes sense. Hey, keep the production going. It's easy to crank out, and then you can customize it in a capacity. I do like the upgrade where they put the GT performance tire on the GT. I think that's just a no-brainer. I would assume they're no longer going to be selling the actual treaded tire they had before, just because the GT.
It's way better.
Yeah.
Well, that was what was funny is when I first got my GT, everyone was like, "What tire do you have on it?" At Dirt Surfers, and I was like, "Stock slick." Like Legend needed a tire, but then somebody was like, "Well, that's better than the treaded, unless you went with the performance." Stock slick was better than the other one.
Just a compound's really hard. But again, at the time, I mean, again, this is where I can be part of the sport. Is at the time, at purchasing a brand new board, you could have a treaded tire. That was pretty cool. That was unheard of before.
Right.
Oh, that's
Was it
exciting.
your favorite tire? It was, because that was the only thing
That's
options.
all you knew, yeah.
But now you just saw progression of the sport continue to go. And I think always first to market, somebody's going to take what you do first to market and build on it. I think you look at Enduro tire came to the scene, and it was a bit of that hybrid tire where it was treaded-ish and it was street-ish, and it was great for both. And they introduced, Jeff and team introduced taking the tread all the way to the edge of the tire, all the way to the outside of the tire, which was genius because how many times when you're carving are you on the edge of your tire? A lot. And so what happens? Other tires built upon that thought. So I think first to market, cool. Second to market's always going to build on top of what the first to market did on something else. It's just the nature of this. Hate it or love it or hate it. It's just take it or leave it. It's just part of it. And so one thing that we're talking about around here in the office a lot is the mass start at Dirt Surfers.
Yes. Lots
Of
of
the
videos.
excursion?
Oh, the excursion,
Oh,
yeah.
you gotta be kidding me.
It's pretty wild. So we've got the mass start for you from one of our teammates' vantage point coming out of the narrow part of it. You're going to just see it in its entirety. We'll talk over it and stuff. But here is, look, this is, I think, 50.
Oh.
Look at that fall. Just hit it again. Start it again because people all want to see that.
I don't know how only 2 people fell and all that.
Watch this. And it's our good friend
That's Nico.
Nico going down. Les
And
Carroll.
Les Carroll's was in the red helmet, purple.
Look how
jersey.
far the one wheel shoots at us.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
in
people
every
are hitting it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, we hit it again because
I can't believe only 2 people and all that fell.
Is it really only 2?
3?
I think it's 3. 2.
Oh, yeah, I just saw the 3rd person.
I
Yeah,
don't
but-
because Les Carroll's back in there. I don't know who's in the orange helmet unless that's Les Carroll.
Les Carroll's right there, down.
Yeah.
Someone
And then
else
someone
fell
goes
after-
off over
after
Nico.
Yeah.
Nico.
Nico
That's
goes
crazy.
down. Les Carroll. I don't know who that guy is in the white helmet.
And then look at Jeff McCart from Float
Jeff
Life.
McCosta is right here.
He's
Yeah,
filming it. Because here's the deal. Let's come back to us really quick before we share the rest of it. Here's the truth of that shot. There was a lot that was going to be said at that moment about operating systems and one wheels and the future of one wheels because you have Veskies, some people are offended by it, but Veskies sitting out there about to win the whole shot. There are so many cameras going at that shot because everybody's trying to just, who's the fastest? And Nico had just got an award for going the fastest on a one wheel. Up to that time was 43 point some miles an hour. Mind-blowing that fast on a one wheel.
Yeah, that's fast.
That is crazy. Okay, so you have that going. So you're going to see this whole situation take off at the beginning of this race. Who's got it, what it's take. Rumored that morning was Austin was on something that wasn't a GTS.
Well, James Hand just says Austin on his pirate board.
His pirate board. That would be funny. So a new board. It's open class, so everything can go. There's nothing shady about this. He's going to go. So now pay attention to Austin, who is the guy that shoots out of there. You know, like when you watch a surfer get shot out of the wash? Poof, that's Austin shot out of the mess here, okay? Just a wash of people. And look how strong that board looks. Look at how there's no wavering. I don't think there's much of a rise in the thing. Let's put it on the screen here. You just noticed what's going on here. Austin's to my left, I guess. That'd be your left. See, so steady. That board has got so much power left on it. Just gonzers. Just gonna hit it again. Like there's no he's about to lose it. Our Veskies, they topped out at 35 miles an hour and they just gone. Their nose tilted all the way to the ground. There's a slight hill climb there, and whatever that pirate board he's riding.
Well, it looks like he got hit. It looks like
Just gone.
It looks like Nico's GT or his board, like slides right at him, and he just avoided. it taking him
Just
out.
gone, guys. Like, the future of our sport here, right there tells you something. It's good. It's good to watch all of the Veskies coming out and pushing hard, too, because all of a sudden we have a sport. We have a sport where people are pushing the limits.
I'm so glad they were okay.
Oh, man, that
Nobody
sound.
got hurt.
That sound of one wheel's just smacking the ground because it's
it
like
was
metal.
loud.
I remember I was up a little
Not fun.
farther away from this. I wasn't right at the start. God forbid one of our little boys get running out there or something like that. So I was a little ways back, and I remember seeing Austin fly by, quite a bit of the lead, and then I was like, where's Nico at? Like, just anticipating him to be towards the front. And no idea what had happened. No clue whatsoever until I saw video footage later. And Nico ended up coming back and doing amazing.
His video of his vantage point is really cool because he went from last or
And got
to
6th.
sixth place. So you can
Yeah,
watch the whole
here,
thing.
watch
It's
this
really
whole
cool.
clip at the beginning. Again, you've seen it enough, but now we're going to let it roll its entirety. Look how far Nico's behind, and he comes back from dead last, and his video's enjoyable. You can watch it on the Float Life's YouTube channel because they count up how many people he passes
Nice.
of all the pros.
That's awesome.
Gets all the way up to 6th place. If there was just one stage longer, I think he'd have gotten him, everybody, because there was between 1st to 6th to Nico was a big gap of human
Look,
beings.
Yeah.
Okay, just a big gap. Here's Nico coming through.
There's that.
So good to know that he was good and safe, but that's not what you want to see anybody. I don't
No.
look for those crashes. The whole shot, winning the whole shot, that's fun to watch. But to see people crash and burn, I'm not looking for that. We don't want that in those mass starts. I don't think that helps the sport. I think the mass starts are pretty wild. Oh, think about mass starts. We should have grabbed a clip of this, people. Like, I just had a thought. I just
Oh.
watched this. There's
The
some.
video we watched last night.
Yeah, Lily, have you ever seen
The cheese
people
race?
chase cheese down the hill in England?
No, but I would do that. I love cheese.
No, you would not.
No, you would not do
Oh,
this.
man.
This is
Okay.
a would you ride
Pull
that?
it up. Yeah, oh,
Absolute
yeah, I
not.
should have
What
done
am
that
I
with
supposed
you.
to look for?
Oh.
I can look for it.
Cheese rolling? Man. Seriously, what a fail today to not have ripped that for
Yeah,
you
we
guys
should've.
at
That was
home.
hilarious.
That
Oh,
should
yeah.
be next to you. They just had the competition. It's in England.
It looks fun. They're rolling down the hill.
That looks fun. That looks like carnage.
Yeah.
You would
They're-
seriously do that?
No, I'm not. No.
You said a moment ago you would.
Well, I thought it was real cheese.
It
Oh,
is.
no,
looks
you're
like
chasing a cheese.
a cheese wheel.
Yeah, they send a cheese wheel down the hill.
I
First one
can't
done
believe
gets
they
the wheel
do this.
for cheese.
Oh my!
Are you changing your story?
It's such
No,
a
I would not
steep
do this.
hill.
Oh yeah,
I would just chase cheese though.
Unreal.
right. But they don't.
None of them are even padded up or anything, and they don't even look like they're doing it like.
They aren't.
Strategically.
Garrett says
No.
those videos are insane. They are totally
They are insane. It's like
insane.
one of those things that you're like, okay, I've seen enough, and then you see something, you're back into it. You're not. It's like this is the problem with YouTube.
That's
is that
hilarious.
you waste your time because it's like you got nothing out of that. Just
That's so true.
the pure entertainment of like human beings do this. We just threw our entire
Everyone's-
body. I have a good functioning body, nothing's broken, and I'm going to throw my body down this hill for a piece of cheese, and that's a good idea.
Everyone is going and watching
my
these
gosh.
now. April, the girls from North Carolina.
Yeah.
Opal said that. So it's like everyone's going and watching this.
Yeah,
video
don't leave
now.
us. Don't leave us to go watch that. Hopefully
I
you
did.
haven't-
That's insane.
Oh man.
People are crazy.
We should have brought it here. It's ridiculous. Okay, we've ruined everyone's algorithms because now you're going to get cheese recommendations of things. Like they even cut. Did you see enough, Lily, where they cut a hole, a wedge out of the hillside so they can send the cheese down correctly?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't notice that.
It's like I don't even understand.
Lily says she wants to chase cheese.
Lily
I
said
would
she's gonna
chase
chase cheese,
cheese.
and then
I
she
love
watched that, and she's
cheese.
like, "No, I'm not gonna
I'll
do
chase
that."
cheese like a mouse.
Okay, I think we've. Is there anything else we should cover while we're in here?
I mean, we'll be here. Are we gonna be here next week?
Yeah,
or-
we'll be here next week.
Okay.
It's gonna be a fun one. Lily and her ginormous water bottle. She'll be here.
I'll be here.
She'll be here. We'll be here. Scott and our friends. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Good to be back.
Well, if you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, you're still here. I think you should probably do it because you're still hanging around, folks. Will start dropping tomorrow. Our first race from our Texas dirt servers, where Lily and I go head to head to see who's got it in the first race of the
time
season.
we're ever on a GT and a GTS, so you can imagine who wins the series.
Lily's on the GT.
Whoever was on the GTS.
What? I don't think so. Lily is so
I
much better
mean-
on rock gardens than me.
No, I hated those trails.
Oh man, you were in the
Sorry.
Mendenhall space. That
No,
was.
I still, if today, if I went, I would dislike them very much.
Oh my gosh.
Those are not easy trails.
I like those trails.
Nah.
Whatever reason, I like those
Not
trails.
easy.
I don't know why it was. And they weren't super long. I think the shortness of the trails are appropriate for how hard they
For
were.
how hard they were.
If you would have taken the length of the trails at Dirt Surfers in Eureka
I
Springs
agree
and
with
made
that.
shocked how
I mean, I
long the
agree
dirt
with.
surfers.
I agree with that. Thank God they were as short as
I
they
was
were.
shocked at how long the dirt surfers was.
Oh no! Wait, come on. What I love about
But
dirt surfers
not
and
in
what
a bad way.
brought us to it is that when you get done riding, it's almost where you're like, I don't really want to ride my one wheel tomorrow because I've rode it nonstop the whole weekend. That's a good thing because you just paid money to ride your one wheel.
Yeah, for sure.
That I love that. And then we got to make a small plug for Windmin, which we're really stoked about. Windmin race is this fall. One of our most exciting races for us. One is
love
super
it.
close to us. It's the only race we could go to and come back in a day. It's a lot of
It's in
fun.
September.
It is. There it is. You can go follow Windmin One Wheel to get all the information. It is going to be awesome. Let's get the real. It's right there, September 20th through the 22nd, 2024.
Yeah,
There you go, everyone. There's the date.
which it's usually in October, which it snows every year, but now it'll
Right.
be
They bumped
very
it up a
pretty.
couple weeks earlier, maybe a little warmer, but better. Colors will still be there. It's just
Good time.
so
Start
much
signing
fun.
up for it. So
Please
they know
go
you're
get signed up
coming.
from that. Will help those that are planning the women to know how many T-shirts to buy. If you follow Brooks, who is the guy, the mastermind behind it, he planned for a certain amount of people, and then that didn't happen. So he's got a lot of inventory of last year's stuff. So book, buy all those things for Windmin 2024. It's gonna be great. I know of several pros will be there. It's gonna be a great event. Been talking to the creative team already. So thank you for everybody that was at our group ride this past Sunday.
Super
It was a
fun.
lot of fun. We had a few spills here and there. It was a weird group ride because of the falls. And I rode a one wheel that was ran off a lawnmower battery. Remember when that was a
Yep,
thing? You used to
I
have
do.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, you had that.
we've come a long way.
You have come a long way.
Everyone has.
Yes. And, oh, the update on Lily's board that fell into the lake.
Oh,
Oh, it's doing fine. It was raced on Saturday, not by me, but it's doing great. It's clean now.
And no issue. Yeah, it's clean because it fell in the water. No problem.
Well, yeah, it got really dirty, then I cleaned it again.
Yeah.
we
So
go.
we
No
will. You'll see a short soon, probably on the. I guess we'll call it a Frankenstein board that we're making for Holly with the GTS motor. in there.
Exciting.
So everybody
Better get fast, Holly. Better get fast.
Working on it.
Everyone's going to have
Working on
high
it.
expectations now of you.
Well, guys, I mean, curb them.
You know, guys.
Curb
what?
'em.
Curb the expectations.
Curve,
Oh,
not curb or
curb your
curb.
enthusiasm.
You ever watch that show?
No,
Why not?
I have.
it's just old. It was old when I was young. I think.
What's a show that you ask young people now? Have you ever seen? And you're like, oh yeah, that was one of my favorites.
Probably like Hannah Montana. Yeah, they
Hannah
know.
Montana.
Yeah.
No, I would
That was
say
what I was
what's-
into.
How I Met Your Mother's old.
But I didn't watch that until I was older.
Well, I didn't watch Friends until I was older.
Yeah, me either.
But think about Friends. Think about that and Seinfeld. Totally goes cross generations.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that dates that is the graininess of the camera. But
Yeah.
other than that, the topics
Still
were
fun.
very cross
Well,
generations.
Yeah.
Except for when you see a VCR and when somebody
Yeah,
gets a
there's
cell phone.
sometimes that it's like, oh, that's old. Like, especially with the way they look,
What?
the way they dress.
That's old?
Oh, I
I'm
totally
messing.
think all of that's coming back.
Some of it,
Always.
yeah,
That's what
some
old
of
people
it
say
is.
all the time.
No. Like,
How many
Some of it
times have
is.
I heard, oh, that's
cargo
so
pants
70s?
are back. Cargo pants are back.
Yeah,
that
but
was-
I never hear people say the 90s are back. It's always the 70s. I wore
Opal
light
says iCarly.
iCarly.
funny.
I wore
liked
light
iCarly.
colored jeans on Sunday. He goes, oh, that's so 70s. I was like, what? I remember going to
And
high school in
90s.
these. Yeah, it's like maybe.
Yeah, it always keeps going.
Maybe, but somebody on Sunday morning said, "Oh, so maybe it is." I don't know. I just saw them, liked them,
cool.
bought them, wore them. Okay, everybody, thanks for hanging with us today. We hope you had a great last one, or one wheels. That's our race we just did, and I said it so many times, it's not last one we were standing today. It's One Wheel Wednesday, everyone. Thanks for joining with us today. We will see you next week as we have a great topic for you. We are going to interview, well, just have to come back next week and see who we talk with, everyone. Have a fabulous One Wheel Wednesday, everybody. Adios.
Bye, everybody.